Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, has unveiled ambitious plans to bolster Canada's military presence in the Arctic. Speaking in Iqaluit, Nunavut, Poilievre pledged to establish a permanent military base in the territory. This base, designated CFB Iqaluit, would be capable of hosting a full Air Force wing, including advanced F-35 fighter jets and long-range P-8 surveillance aircraft. Poilievre emphasized the strategic importance of the Arctic in an era of heightened geopolitical tensions. Poilievre's plans extend beyond establishing a base in Iqaluit. He also committed to acquiring 2 new Polar Class II icebreakers for the Royal Canadian Navy, supplementing the 2 currently under construction for the Canadian Coast Guard. Recognizing the vital role of local communities in Arctic security, Poilievre pledged to double the size of the 1st Canadian Rangers Patrol Group. This expansion would see the Rangers, who provide a crucial military presence in remote northern communities, grow from 2,000 to 4,000 personnel. These pledges represent a significant escalation of Canada's commitment to Arctic defence. They underscore the growing recognition of the region's importance in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. Poilievre's proposals have sparked debate about Canada's role in the Arctic and the resources needed to fulfill its security obligations. Poilievre's Arctic military plans are driven by the evolving security environment in the region. Climate change is making the Arctic more accessible, leading to increased activity from both state and non-state actors. Russia, in particular, has been expanding its military presence in the Arctic. It has reopened and modernized Cold War-era bases and increased its naval and air patrols. China, too, has shown a growing interest in the Arctic, declaring itself a near-Arctic state and investing in scientific research and infrastructure projects in the region. Poilievre argues that these developments pose a direct challenge to Canadian sovereignty in the Arctic. He highlights the need for a more assertive Canadian presence to deter potential adversaries and protect Canada's interests. The Arctic is also becoming increasingly important for its natural resources. As climate change melts sea ice, new shipping routes are opening up and access to vast reserves of oil, gas and minerals is becoming easier. This has led to increased competition for control of these resources, further raising the stakes in the Arctic. Poilievre's Arctic military build-up would require significant financial resources. He has proposed funding these initiatives through massive cuts to Canada's foreign aid budget. Poilievre argues that foreign aid is often misspent and that these funds would be better used to strengthen Canada's national defence. He has specifically targeted funding for the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees and Canada's contributions to the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. These proposed cuts have drawn criticism from opposition parties and international development organisations. They argue that slashing foreign aid would damage Canada's reputation on the world stage and undermine its commitment to global development. They also point out that foreign aid often serves Canada's national interests by promoting stability and prosperity in developing countries. Industry leaders, particularly in the shipbuilding and aerospace sectors, have welcomed Poilievre's pledges. They see the construction of new icebreakers and the establishment of a major airbase in the Arctic as opportunities to create jobs and boost the Canadian economy. However, some experts have questioned the feasibility of completing these projects within the timelines proposed by Poilievre. Poilievre's Arctic military plans have far-reaching implications for Canada's sovereignty and defence capabilities. By establishing a permanent military base in Iqaluit and acquiring new icebreakers, Canada would significantly enhance its ability to monitor and control its Arctic territory. This would send a strong signal to Russia and China that Canada is serious about defending its Arctic sovereignty. However, some analysts caution that a military build-up in the Arctic could escalate tensions with Russia and lead to an arms race in the region. They argue for a more cooperative approach to Arctic security, emphasizing diplomacy and international cooperation. They point to the Arctic Council, a forum for intergovernmental cooperation among the 8 Arctic states, as a model for addressing shared challenges in the region. Poilievre's plans also raise questions about Canada's role in the world. By shifting resources from foreign aid to military spending, Canada would be signaling a more inward-looking approach to international affairs. This could have implications for Canada's relationships with its allies and its standing in multilateral institutions. Ultimately, Poilievre's Arctic military plans represent a significant gamble. They reflect a belief that a more assertive military posture is necessary to protect Canada's interests in an increasingly competitive Arctic. However, they also carry risks, and their success will depend on a complex interplay of geopolitical, economic, and technological factors.